Fighting for unity. Today, let's talk specifically about politics. The gravitational pull toward political extreme is strong, to the point where it has become frighteningly easy to let our politics inform our faith more than we let our faith inform our politics. You've probably heard people say something like, "How can anyone be a Christian and support them?" It's not hard to come up with a list of Bible verses that support our political preferences. It's easy to become convinced that Jesus would have supported the same people we support. But there isn't a single political party that is fully in line with Jesus' vision of heaven on earth. If we believe that heaven on earth has more to do with a political election than Jesus' resurrection, then we don't understand the good news. Our hope doesn't come from who sits at the top of our government. Our hope comes from who sits on heaven's throne. Regardless of who leads our nations, God is still our King. Are you solely relying on your government or elected officials to bring hope to your community? Then you're missing out on your God-given role to be a light in a dark world. Does your sense of peace or joy rise and fall on who's in power? Then you're missing a chance to rely on God as the provider of every good thing you need. Do you lovingly listen to opposing views in an effort to understand where those viewpoints came from? Do you meet the needs of your neighbors when you're able? And are you striving for justice, mercy, and humility in yourself, your home, your workplace, and your community just as passionately as you'd like your government leaders to? Then you're living the different kind of life that our Heavenly Father has asked us to live. A wise pastor once said, "Every time we take a side, we divide." This doesn't mean we don't do our civil duty and choose a side to support or stand up for what we believe in. Of course we do. As Christians, we should use every resource we have available to serve the people in our communities. It does mean, as Christians, we don't reduce our neighbors to this side or that side. Our personal identity doesn't come from our political ideas. Our identity is as a child of God. Our neighbors? They're made in the image of God, too. We're all sinners in need of salvation. In that regard, there can be no side, no division. And we must fight to keep that truth sealed in our hearts and minds. We must engage and stand differently. Instead of settling for division, we fight for unity. Our battle is not against flesh and blood. Therefore, we cannot fight our battles the same way the world does. As disciples of Jesus, we fight by praying our prayers and loving our neighbors. This is how we faithfully follow Jesus in a divided world. Pray. God, help us, your followers, to be one. Help us to refuse to settle for division. Give us the wisdom and strength to fight for unity. Remind us of our role as your people to represent Jesus and the good news to our divided world.
Neither pray I for these alone, but for them also which shall believe on me through their word, that they all may be one, as thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee, that they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that thou hast sent me. And the glory which thou gavest me, I have given them, that they may be one, even as we are one, I in them, and thou in me, that they may be made perfect in one, and that the world may know that thou hast sent me, and hast loved them, as thou hast loved me. He has shown thee, O man, what is good. And what doth the Lord require of thee? But to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on an hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works, and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of God. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride, adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven, saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them, and be their God. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain. For the former things are passed away. And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. And he said unto me, It is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of life freely. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son.